So what I would suggest is whatever feels comfortable for you is fine for me. So here's how this is going to work. I got this, I don't even know what this is called. This thing. I'm going to open with this and end with this. And then I have this buffalo drum that I've been using for the better part of a decade in hundreds and hundreds of my groups. And I'm simply going to beat on the buffalo drum in no particular rhythm. But really, I mean, I feel I can only help others connect with themselves as best as I'm able to connect with myself. So I really have no idea, what I'm about to play on the drum. I have no idea what I'm exactly going to say as I guide all of us and myself into this experience. But what I would offer is for us to come into this with as open of a mind as possible, in addition to just an open heart. There is no right or wrong, so you literally cannot mess this up. So as we start to transition...
And before we go, Neil reminds me to remind our audience, if you do listen to our podcast at 1.25 or 1.5 or 2x speed, now might be a good time to transition back to 1 times the speed, just for this.
Great recommendation. Thank you, our man. Okay, so we will begin. And you're welcome to join me as we settle into our body by just finding a comfortable position wherever you are. So the goal right now is to just settle into our bodies. You may be sitting in a chair. You may be lying on a bed. You may be standing on carpet. Whatever it may be, I invite you to simply just settle in. And you're welcome to join me. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you'd like, and you haven't already, you're welcome to gently close your eyes. And if you prefer to keep your eyes open, that's totally cool as well. But for the next few moments, we're simply just going to settle into wherever we are and bring our attention to the breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. You're welcome to take some more mindful breaths like that. And you're always welcome to return your attention back to the breath. But your body knows how to breathe. So at any point, you can allow yourself to just let go and trust in your body to breathe in a way that feels good for it right now. So if you're willing, I'd like to direct our attention to the sound of the drum right now. So for you, you may notice the tone of it. Maybe it sounds a bit deep or low, or maybe more high-pitched to you. You can notice the pattern of me hitting the drum. Some notes are softer, some notes are louder, so you can notice the dynamic of all these notes on the drum. And what's bound to happen to me and everyone else at some point during this, you're gonna start thinking about something else. You may notice something else or feel something else. That's totally cool. In fact, that's normal and natural. But anytime we notice something else, like a thought can simply treat it like a cloud in the sky. We can see it, we can acknowledge it, and then we can allow it to gently pass on by and redirect our attention either back to the drum or back to your breath. For some of us, you may even notice that your body is physically responding to the rhythm. I notice my right foot is tapping along. My head is gently nodding along as well. This way we can just allow the body to do whatever feels good for it right now. The goal isn't necessarily to control anything, like our body or our mind, but we're simply gently directing our attention within our own experience, either in our breath or the drum right now. Many often say that the drum feels like very foundational to them in this kind of exercise. So in a way, the drum can represent the floor that's carrying your weight right now, or the chair or the bed that you're resting on. So I'd like to invite you to bring your attention to either the floor, the chair, the couch, the bed, whatever's supporting your body right now. And I'd invite you to maybe take a breath in and out, and as you exhale, really allow whatever's supporting you to really hold you. It's secure, it's stable. You can just relax and ease into it. And know that in this moment, this present moment, whether you're live with us in Zoom or listening 5 years later on a podcast app or on YouTube, this is still your present moment. And in this moment, you are safe, you are secure, you are grounded. What's going on in the bigger picture of your life may seem anything but, especially during a pandemic. But in this present moment, right now, which is really all we ever have, we can get in touch with a sense of groundedness. That at least in this moment, things are okay. If you've noticed that you actually haven't been paying attention to most of this, that's okay. And all you can simply do is just redirect your attention back to the experience right now. We don't need to judge anything that's happening as good or bad or right or wrong. We can simply just welcome anything that comes up with an accepting, non-judgmental presence and attitude. So as you notice, I'm going to start slowing down the rhythm of the drum. And maybe simply notice if that feels different in any way. Maybe the slower tempo makes your experience calm down or slow down. Or maybe not. Whatever you notice is fine as it is. So as we start coming to the end of this brief meditation, I invite you to maybe check in with your body. Maybe allow it to gently move. Feel any tension, maybe in your neck and head, your shoulders, your torso down to your hips, and your legs down to your feet. Slowly start bringing some gentle attention to our body as we come to an end. And I'd invite you to join me in just a couple more mindful breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So for just a few moments, we can actually hear the silence in the absence of the drumming. And perhaps from what we just experienced, you may notice some stillness within your body and within your mind. Just take a final few moments to just sit in the silence and the stillness. If you become distracted, that's totally fine. You could simply just redirect your attention back to the silence and the relative stillness. So if your eyes are closed, you can gently, slowly open them and bring yourself back to the room. And since this was a drum-based or music-based meditation, the last thing I'd like to offer is that music is a bit different from some of the other creative arts. But it's similar in how we begin. So a painter starts with a blank canvas, where a poet may start with a blank sheet of paper to write on. Or a digital illustrator may start with a blank document on their laptop. And so as musicians, we begin with silence. But what's interesting is that musicians as well, we end with silence. And in fact, that's a note that we take into account, and we call it the rest. And I've often found that in my life, especially when things seem really loud and really quick, that oftentimes the best note that I can play in my own life is the rest. So with that, I'm going to ring this vibratone. And that concludes our meditation.
Thank you very much for that, Jordan. I found that was my first time experiencing a drum-based meditation, and I found it incredibly effective. Um, so I'm just like trying to recognize just even the changes in my own feelings right now after engaging in the practice. But you know, we talk about the breath typically as the anchor that um, is recommended in certain types of meditation. And sometimes I find it difficult to always, uh, maintain that connection because my mind just drifts. But the sound of a drum, especially as I'm listening to it through headphones, it's much more kind of encompassing and much more kind of like full. So for me, I found it a lot more effective and easier to kind of latch onto throughout the course of the actual practice. So that was really interesting and cool. So thanks for that.
Awesome. Thank you, dude. Yeah, many people that I've done this with, thousands and thousands of people over the past decade, they share something similar, that they've tried meditation in the past and it just didn't quote work, but there was something about the drum that helped ground them in the experience. I'm not making this shit up. Like, drumming has been used for thousands of years in virtually every culture, for healing and for community building. It's just our consumerist, capitalistic culture.
Music.
We treat art as a music. Yeah, but in our culture, we treat art as a product typically, and most of us don't consider ourselves to be natural musicians either. But we all have a heartbeat. Like, life is rhythm, and we quite literally are rhythm as well.